Hello, my name is Josh. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've done some of the music videos and whatnot. I had pretty much felt that I had covered all the different drum algorithms and comparisons, but do hope to continue playing some music in the future and whatnot. So yeah, I was originally staying in Calgary, my hometown Calgary, but I did move about 4 months ago. So I rented a truck and just packed it all up and drove to British Columbia. So I'm mostly settled here in BC because I've always wanted to move to BC. I've moved here a couple times, more to the interior West Kootenays mountain region, but this time went deep into the lower BC, closer to the ocean. And just because I felt it was such a mythical place. And upon my further studies, I had come to the conclusion that when Moses with the children of Israel migrated to the Promised Land, they in fact went from Egypt all the way up through Europe and Russia, and then across the ice shelf, and then landed in British Columbia, and that the holy mountain that Moses ascended was in fact in BC, and so that's just what I believe, and the others landmarks and things to prove it. And then of course, the trip did take him 11 years. So it would make sense that it would take 11 years to walk from Egypt all the way to Canada, across the ice channel there. And then plus they did a branch forward into different places around Europe and around the world. And then then I do accept that they've recently relocated back to Jerusalem as well. Certain parts of them that wish to spearhead that area and return to that area. So with Moses, I do believe that the whole golden calf thing and everything probably took place in BC, and then same with the burning bush and the mountain. I think that was within the BC region, and then many of the ancient myths also point to it being a mystical god-inhabited mountains with different gods like Loki inhabiting it, and Thoth and Hermes and whatnot.
Mr. Wonka, I am a teacher of geography.
Oh, well, then you know all about it. And what a terrible country it is. Nothing but desolate wastes and fierce beasts. And the poor little Oompa Loompas were so small and helpless, they would get gobbled up right and left. A Wang Doodle would eat 10 of them for breakfast and think nothing of it. And so I said, come and live with me in peace and safety, away from all the Wang Doodles and hornswogglers and snozwangers and rotten, vermicious knids.
Snozwangers? Vermicious knids? What kind of rubbish is that?
I'm sorry, but all questions must be submitted in writing.
And with that, with Moses, he is the same as Tutmosis from Egypt. So he was the embodiment of Thoth. So Thoth and Moses are the same, and it can be proven with the hieroglyphs that show Thoth holding the pole with an intertwined serpent around it, and showing how because the children of the Bible were afflicted with the fiery serpents, and then Moses showed them that if they didn't wrap the serpent around the pole, that they would in fact die from it, as can be seen in the picture here. And that Moses would have been the physical embodiment of Thoth. So whether they've found his bones back in Egypt or not, I'm not sure, because he would have traveled around, etc. But I do believe, so they did travel to BC, and so with the ancient myths, it talks about it being a powerful place for pilgrimages, and then I pointed out the place of the Fenris wolf, which according to the ancient writings said that no one would dare fight the Fenris wolf because his blood would be too much to bear for the land. And the Fenris wolf was also known as Typhon, so it was like the worst possible weapon or weapon of the gods. So whether it's actually contained there or not, I don't think it would be. I think weapons of the gods are in the moon and in the ocean. But when you look at the moon, you can see that all those blast craters on the moon are not actually from asteroids. They're from the previous group of people that thought they could take on God. And so, with the moon, it can even be controlled to move close to the Earth, causing a massive tidal wave to wipe out the land. Otherwise, it would possess weapons, etc. But I do believe all those craters on the moon are from a previous, now since wiped out civilization, maybe trying to attack the moon. So I state that because with all these talking about bunker buster bombs are going off. I was concerned that they were going to try and remove some of the landmarks here in Canada with that, because there's ancient barrier stones here in Canada, and so I'm not sure if they would have tried to shoot that mountain, the Fenris Wolf. But if the water ever runs red with its blood, then that blood would, or that water would run all the way through that lake, which passes through, which is pretty much the Nile of BC, the main river that goes through BC. So that mountain is linked to the water source of the main river all the way through BC, which goes out to the ocean there. So that was an interesting tidbit, and I guess we'll have to wait and see if the river runs red or not. But with that, I don't think the places of God could ever be destroyed, and I imagine that that would beckon the gods to come forward and take care of things, or retaliate in certain ways.
Augusto, sweetheart, save some room for later.
Augustus, please, don't do that. My chocolate must never be touched by human hands. Please, don't do that. Don't do that. You're contaminating my entire river. Please, I beg you, Augustus. My chocolate! My chocolate! My beautiful chocolate!
Don't just stand there, do something!
Help. Police. Murder.
Quick, Charlie, here.
Quick, let's describe this.
What's happening to him?
It looks like he's drowning.
Dive in, save him!
Oh, it's too late.
Too late!
He's had it now. The suction's got him.
Augustus, come back!
There's his coat going up the pipe.
Call a plumber.
Stuck in the pipe there, isn't he, Wonka? It's his stomach that's done that.
He's blocking all the chocolate.
Oh, what happens now? Eh?
Oh, the pressure will get him out. Terrific pressure is building up behind the blockage.
Oh, yeah, you think so?
He's done!
Take Mrs. Gloop straight to the fudge room, but look sharp, or her little boy's liable to get poured into the boiler.
You boiled him up, I know it!
Il desperandum, dear lady. Across the desert lies the promised land.
So yeah, as for Canada becoming a part of America, yeah, I'm against that, because originally Alaska was a part of Canada, and we gave that to the States, and we haven't really seen anything in return for it or any benefit from it. About 10 years ago, the U.S. Navy was bombing sites in the Alaskan mountains, stating that it was target practice, but it's likely that they were bombing ancient relics or something like that, since the children of Israel did pass through that land. And then, of course, they settled here in BC, which was the promised land, and then spread around North America. And then they probably, as aforementioned, probably spread around places in Europe too. But yeah, so that's why I'd be against anyone that tries to erase ancient links to or actual land sites that prove the mythologies were literal, and that the Bible is literal, and the Egyptian religion is literal. And yeah, so I was reading scriptures, and I came up across this scripture that came to mind, Psalm 83, verse 4 and onward. They have said, "Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kizon, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeb, yeah, all their princes like Zebah, and as Zalmunna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my God, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Lord. Let them be confounded and troubled forever, yeah. Let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah, art the Most High over all the earth." So yeah, attack on Canada and this region would be an attack on Israel, since that's where Moses and the children of Egypt or Israel came to the Promised Land, and so yeah, it is a part of Israel. So it would be against the Bible to oppose this land in any way, and its people. But that's something that only we can trust in God to help with, because it's that God still is watching through his machinations and angelic forces and all other manner of forces. And so yeah, you can have a faith in that. And but yeah, so as recently I've been still watching movies and whatnot. It's not like back in 2014 where there was hardly any movies coming out. And then fast forward to now, there's been such an abundance of movies in the last 5 years that I personally have like a list of 60 good-looking movies that I hope to watch. And they look very high creativity and excellent graphics and scenery. And yeah, so I've been recently watching some Disney movies. And yeah, I was concerned about the low rating of Snow White, how it had 1 star on Internet Movie Database, because that's completely absurd from a Disney movie, where like Jungle Book and all the previous renditions of the old classics have all been rated 7 and 8, and rightfully so, because they've been very well done. So yeah, I'm about 40 minutes into Snow White, and it's an excellent, another excellent Disney movie, very well done, and I'm very glad that they made animated variants of the dwarves, because that keeps the cartoon aspect, as opposed to live action actors. But it seems that yeah, no complaints in that regard. The actors were all and actresses were all very well fit for the movie. So yeah, I'm not sure why people would rate a movie 1. If you don't like a movie, then you'd probably rate it 4 or 5 out of respect, knowing that it clearly is at least 5 or 6, even if you despise it. Based on the effort and work placed into it. So yeah, I would hope that everyone who did rate it low would go back and change their ratings, or otherwise the rating sites would remove them if they haven't actually seen the movie, etc. Due to political reasons in the news, etc. That seems to be why they were targeting that movie. Oh yeah, so finally, yeah, so now that I've been here in BC, so I've been studying the geology of the place, and become very interested with the ancient volcano that's here. I never realized, like I had seen it before, but I didn't quite know if it was a volcano, but I've since located the lava, the hardened lava from the area. And yeah, it's literally what the Lord of the Rings is based off, it appears. So yeah, it's very interesting. I've noticed that there was a giant ocean crustacean. I'm not sure how many people have noticed that, but a giant ocean crustacean, so maybe the area was underwater at some point, or maybe it came out of the water. But you can see that it burrowed all the way up the hill, and maybe laid its eggs on the side of the mountain. But it seems like that ridge is a place for where a tower should be placed. So yeah, hopefully the people from Qatar or somewhere of the like that are good at building large towers, they should consider maybe coming here and developing the land as well, to build a massive tower here as well. Because clearly there's a mound for it, which was bizarrely created by this creature, this ancient fossilized creature that's the size of a large city. So it's quite crazy. And I'm not sure if there was any point where the blood of the river were to turn red, if that would somehow go out to the ocean and awaken anything. But it's clearly interesting mythologies going on around this area. So yeah, I'm glad to have made it here and becoming solidified and anchored in the area, and hope to do some exploring around. Looks like it's be a hiker's paradise, and that's another reason that we wouldn't want to be merging with the states, because we don't want people with guns running around everywhere. We want to remain a gunless place, and law-abiding, and people just respecting the land, hiking, and yeah, not causing issues for anyone else, not just chasing after money or false businesses. But yeah, it's not to say everywhere in the world is beautiful, because it's based on the energy of the sun and the power of God that makes every place, even the most barren desert, as a place to hold that could be a paradise for someone, and interesting to explore. So yep. So leave it at that. So yeah, maybe we'll continue talking about religions and spiritual things, and then hope to be back in the music, maybe at some point in the future there as well. Okay, have a good one.